interesting.
That guy's suit?
Well, yeah, that. I was going to mention the tacky boat anchor suit, but I was going to mention the how this is all done in one shot. But a lot of people don't realize it because it's on this little ferry thing and the background's constantly moving. I like that because, I don't know, if this was made by some hack filmmaker, it would just be, they're all standing around and shot reverse shot and that's it, you know, but keep the background interesting. Like, it's so easy. It's like one of those simple tricks that a lot of people don't think of, you know. So
that's right.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this is all don't remember this is all one shot.
Can you give us a hit of that?
Yeah.
What?
On the stream, if that's possible.
What do you mean?
To hear it. Okay, we're good.
We're good. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
I think
Sorry, we were having audio problems.
I guess audio's good now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, folks.
That's my fuck up.
So is it not working at all? We had so many good factoids.
Oh, we had wonderful factoids. But...
subtitles.
Oh, we picked that up.
So where do you get a suit like? It can only be like on the East Coast.
Yeah, right.
Oh, goddamn! That suit is probably made from fabric that's used to make to upholster boat chairs or something, like a captain's chair on a boat.
I think I mentioned this before, but the 70s were just the most ugly decade in the world. Like the fashion, the designs of the vehicles and the buildings and everything was just.
It's the part of the 60s where the 50s died.
Yeah.
And before the 70s caught on.
Right.
Like the late 60s, early 70s, everything was bad.
It's just that drab, colorless look, or like horribly clashing colors. I know that was a big thing.
Like, watch The Partridge Family.
Yeah.
Everything fucking awful with the 70s, 60s is displayed in their fashion.
But anyways, for the folks that didn't hear it, basically we are obviously watching Jaws.
Yeah.
We counted you down. You probably didn't hear that. We're at the beach scene right now.
Little Alex Kittner just went in the water with his little raft.
Just dove in the water. And that's fine, you know. That's
14 minutes, 36
seconds in. Yeah.
37, 8,
right.
9.
You got it.
You get the idea.
Right, yeah. And so, yeah, that's my fuck up. But anyways,
right.
We were discussing the similarities or differences between the book written by Peter Benchley and the movie, obviously directed by
Senor
Spielberg.
That's a Spanish Spielberg?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Oh no, the weird old guy. I
imagine that's how he picks up chicks. You know what I mean? Like he just goes out swimming near women. Oh, I didn't see you. How about you come back to my place for a brandy?
And we've discussed how Chief Brody was very, even at this point, you know, he's trying to protect the town, but he doesn't like the water.
Yeah.
The book and the movie mention that.
Right.
And he's very timid. The book and the movie both mention that as well.
Yeah.
And then Forrest, you expounded on his
dislike of the upper class,
right?
Because his wife
in the book,
they don't really mention that in the movie. But his wife was one of the rich people that would come in for the summer and everything, and he's always resented those people, and that builds up his antagonism with Mr. Hooper, which we'll find out later.
He reminds me of the old woman from The Shining.
Oh my God, he does.
Oh, it's the end of House.
The end of House.
I also find it funny that you have this man in this role,
right.
And then 20 years later, he's on Sequest.
DSV.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which, was it intentional? Because, he's known for a movie about the water and stuff. And
but he was pretty good in that. I mean, the show wasn't great, but I thought he did pretty well in that.
I think they tried to make Star Trek underwater.
It was Star Trek underwater.
He did well.
I was fine with Sequest. I like Darwin, the talking dolphin. Oh, he ate the dog.
Yeah, there's something else that's...
Again, this is talking about how Spielberg just didn't give a shit in the 70s. Those like the two rules that people always say, like don't hurt kids and don't hurt dogs.
Yeah.
And he does both in the same scene.
Well,
one of them very graphic.
And very PG. We mentioned before that this movie is rated PG. I'd just like to, use this scene as an example.
This is wild right here, too.
Oh, my God.
No one is safe. This is like a B-movie type.
It is. This is the
setup here.
Yeah.
That scene. That shot.
Yeah, that's great. I love that shot.
Yeah, can you expand on that? How did they do that shot?
It's called the Vertigo shot. It was first used in Vertigo. It's you push in with the camera while at the same time zooming out. So the thing in the foreground rushes towards the camera while the background gets further and further away. Very cool.
That was really cool.
Old Hitchcock technique. So yep, now the cat's out of the bag. The kid's dead, and
the dog's dead. Obviously.
The dog's dead, and yeah, now everyone's got to know there's a shark out there.
Right.
You mentioned this is like a total B movie scene. That's what I love about Jaws, that it was a B movie made with like A movie sensibilities. Which,
yeah,
when people talk about like what is a summer blockbuster, that's what I use as an example. B movie energy done with an A movie style.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like movies like Jaws that tread that line between A and B.
Watch Brody bump his head.
Are what really, yeah, on the little side.
On the side. Yeah.
Are what sell B movies to the general public. But
yeah,
and here's
it's people
the mayor
like us who get drawn in to watch all the follow-up exploitative crap that rip off.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And here's the mayor that they allude to in the movie, but in the book they expand upon.
Oh yeah,
is basically the mayor's been placed here by it's the 70s by the mafia.
Yes,
the mafia was pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that's
back in the day. But they imply it here that I can't afford to close the beaches. I can't afford to.
They never really expunge on why though.
They don't. But in the book, they are very
much
definitive about the mayor having mob ties.
Yeah.
And basically, if he doesn't keep the beaches open, he and everybody else is going to get their fucking knees capped or whatever.
Even in this, without that, you assume it's a small town, and that's how literally
right now, yeah, it's just looking. That's where their money comes from. Yeah, but it's much bigger. Yeah, the mayor went into horrible debt and ended up having to turn to the mob to fix his debt problems. Right. But now it's like half your summer dollars go to us type of thing.
Yeah.
And there's another storyline that was completely glossed over in this. They had a bad summer the year before in the book because some crazy gardener started breaking into rich people's houses and raping the housewives. So like everyone didn't go to Amity for that summer
on its own.
Yeah, so they didn't talk about the mad rapist in this movie, but that was a big thing because their summer was really crappy in the first one. So now I want their summer to be really big this year, and then Mr. Sharkey shows up, and that's why the mayor is so single-mindedly insistent on keeping the beaches open. Here he just comes off as an asshole, which he is, but he
is an asshole. I mean,
Forrest. Yeah. I can hear you sobering up.
Oh.
Here's probably the best character in the movie.
One of the greatest introductions ever, too.
Robert Shaw's just brilliant.
Yep.
Just wonderful. He was wonderful in Bond, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in From Russia with Love.
From Russia with Love.
One of my favorite Bond movies, actually.
Everything important he says turns into a speech.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna say, this is another example of why the Academy Awards are full of shit, because this man did not get a Best Supporting Actor nomination. That's all I gotta say to that. This is funny. This is probably the first instance where some of Spielberg's like I'm the king of the world arrogance went back to him, because when they were announcing the nominations for the Academy Awards in '76, Spielberg brought a camera crew to his house to show him watching it live so he could see his reaction when his name was announced for Best Director, and he ended up not getting nominated for Best Director. Even though he should have. This movie is phenomenally directed, but
did they show his reaction to the other categories?
Yeah, right. It did get a Best Picture nomination.
No. I mean, like, when Robert Shaw didn't get Best Supporting Actor?
I don't know. I know what I know from reading the book Easy Riders and Raging Bulls, which is an extremely it's a great book, but it's extremely gossipy. They get into like all the gossip that was going on around that time, and that was one of the big ones. Was Spielberg bringing a whole like TV camera crew?
There's his little toady,
his little buddy.
Yeah. That's an odd relationship right there. I don't care.
Uh-oh.
So you didn't go to see us at the beach when it was planned the other?
I did not. No.
The whole beach was full.
Right.
I couldn't even get in. So
yeah, and for the folks that aren't in Erie, basically, we have a peninsula, a state park, and there's 11, 12 beaches that are able to, you're able to go on. They're about 3/4 of a mile to a mile long each.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And basically what they did on one of the beaches is they, set up a huge screen and just let people camp out on the beach and watch Jaws.
It's great.
The point where, there were so many people on the beach that physically you could not fit another person. So we're talking tens of thousands of people on a beach.
Right. And I love
it. Which is ridiculous. And obviously it was free.
Yeah.
It's a state park.
Right.
Well, also, it's free. And that's why so many people in this town showed up.
But no, I love it because
we're all poor as fuck here. But for the record,
I was afraid just because, I know we love Jaws, but I wonder how kids nowadays feel about it. Like I said, I could hear kids saying "I know Jaws. That's the movie my grandpa told me about," or whatever. I don't know. I could very easily see someone a kid nowadays calling this movie boring. And that would just break my heart.
Yeah, I think I've only seen this the whole way through. I've seen it a lot, but the whole way through twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because so many times I'm channel surfing and it's on TV, especially on AMC or something during Shark Week. So they're competing. And it's half over. So I've seen it a lot, but very rarely the whole way through.
And she really wasn't as animated about supporting the chief.
No.
In the book.
Right.
Yeah, everyone's kind of a horrible person in the book.
No, except Chief Brody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically 50 bad people, one deadly beast, and Chief Brody.
Yeah.
Is Jaws the book by Peter Benchley.
And that's actually why Spielberg changed a lot of the stuff, because he said he was reading the book and he was just miserable. And he said by the end of the book, he was rooting for the shark.
Oh, yeah, because the people are just so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Chief Brody's the hero, but, obviously, he's
going through a little bit of his midlife crisis malaise,
Yeah. I mean, Robert Shaw's character.
He's probably the most accurate representation.
But he's a hard ass, but he's not bad. But
no,
he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's a complete asshole.
But he says he's an asshole.
Yeah,
and we haven't even seen Hooper yet.
No,
we'll Dreyfuss's character.
We'll get to that. That's going to be a whole conversation.
And it will, but there's just so much underhandedness in the book.
Yeah.
And again, if you haven't read it, I don't know if it's on Amazon.
I don't know. Yeah.
Very good read.
Yeah,
you can get a hold of it.
It's a good summer read,
either physically or online.
Right.
I recommend pay the $1.99, give it a read. It's a fantastic book.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little depressing, as Forrest and I have said. Trust me, it puts, when you watch the movie after reading the book, you have so much more of an appreciation for both works.
Yeah.
Peter Benchley's writing was brilliant.
Yeah.
But Steven Spielberg's directing is even better.
Yes.
Because he knows how to adapt scenes to the screen, that normally were in the book were just either long running and not significant. He makes them applicable to the screen. So
and I will say
there's a lot to be said there.
And I will say also changing things around to be more positive.
Right.
That was a good example, because that's why this movie made, you know, $100-something million, whatever. Even though some people, some like Spielberg detractors, don't like that he usually like goes cornball optimistic or whatever like that, which it can be irritating sometimes. Sometimes he insists on having a happy ending even when it's not appropriate.
Right.
But in this case, I really think it is. I think that he was in the right here, even though a lot of people were against.
Yeah, well, this one feels...
It's just got that crowd-pleasing like feel to it, you know.
Well, it
whatever.
comes down to like a battle at the end, where there can only be one winner. So you're really rooting for the shark to die.
Right.
But, you know, other films of his, like Close Encounters...
Mm-hmm.
That ends on a positive note, but
it's kind of bittersweet.
It's like it has less of a punch. So if you haven't watched it for the first time, you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay, like, that's nice and all, but it's not as satisfying. I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep. That's another one that he said he would totally change if he made it today, because the idea of a guy just leaving his like family behind to go to outer space, possibly never return.
Yeah.
Like, as a young single guy, he's like, yeah, that'd be great. But now that he's married and has kids, he's like, yeah, I would never do that now.
And then that poor woman has to like replant the shrubs.
But speaking of Close Encounters, there was Richard Dreyfuss as Matt Hooper.
And after you read the book, you know, you can't be a fan of his. I mean, Matt Hooper in the book,
he's a completely different character here.
He's a piece of shit.
He is. He's a total piece of shit.
He's a fucking rich yuppie.
Yep.
Who thinks he knows shit.
Yep.
And is just here to advance his own career.
Yep.
At the expense of whomever he encounters. In this case, I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later.
But yeah,
as the movie progresses, Matt Hooper's indiscretions, as we shall say, will become more prevalent. And the fact that Spielberg adapted him in a positive role, I don't think is a bad thing.
No, I like it a lot, because I can't envision Richard Dreyfuss as the Hooper as was portrayed in the book. And
even here, Hooper, like, he's self-motivated, but once they get past like the friction of their differing characters, then he's just like a team player. Yeah,
that's kind of what I like about it.
Like there are elements of the book, but it's smoothed over and told better. I think
he starts out very, very antagonistic.
Yes,
meaning I'm not going to play on the team. My way is the only way.
Right.
But and you're absolutely right. As the movie progresses. And not the book. The book, he does not deviate from his narcissistic, self-absorbed character.
Yeah.
But as the movie progresses, even when he encounters, you know, even when he's on the boat, he eventually bends and says, "Yes, we're all in this shit together.
Yeah,
this shit is ridiculous.
Yeah,
if we don't work together, we're done."
Yeah,
and you know, but again, that's expanding on.
Is that actor on that boat from Star Trek?
Probably.
The original series. God, I wish I remembered his name. He was kind of a scoundrel and always would get caught.
Harry Mudd?
Yeah.
Is that Harry Mudd? Oh man, I didn't I gotta look that up. No. His character in this is Ben Gardner.
Dynamite.
That's another thing. In the book, this gets way crazier. The whole like frenzy.
It gets crazier?
The whole frenzy of trying to get the shark. Like, there's a lot of sub stories of like the things the police got to do to like break people up. And my favorite story was Brody finds some kids out in a boat throwing dead chickens in the water, and he picks them up and says, "What were you doing?" They said they were planning to hook the shark and go for a Norwegian sleigh ride. And Brody tells them that if he catches them out here doing this again, he'll have them arrested for attempted suicide.
Did they do that in Norway?
Yeah, well, it's a whaling thing. They would shoot the whale with the harpoon, then it would drag the whaling boat. Yeah. But speaking of the class thing, like that is something, because the book is a lot more cynical and downbeat about the class warfare between the rich guy and the working class guys. And that's the thing I like about this movie, and why I think it was such a big success, was in the end you've got an upper class guy, a middle class guy, and a working class guy all fighting the shark, and they all sort of in their own way come together and learn to defeat it with each other, or whatever like that. And I like that because a lot of movies from this era, the Hollywood Renaissance, as it was called, were very antagonistic. They were very, here's the definite bad guy and here's the definite good guy. Usually the hippies or whatever like that were the good guys. This movie's like, we're all good guys. Let's all join together and take on this like one force. And that was even better done in Close Encounters, where there pretty much are no bad guys in that, just people with different ideas, And I think that's what brought about the end of the, post-Vietnam, post-Watergate cynicism, and brought about a more like slew of optimism, which I think is what at least the early like blockbusters were all about. I mean, Star Wars, you can't get more optimistic than that.
Can't make drug movies forever.
And this scene, this is actually a real life.
Real shark.
What was it?
A tiger shark.
So they were filming this. I believe, again, this is in Martha's Vineyard. And some guys, meaning people not like employed by the film, just found this big ass shark.
I think it attacked them as they were like reeling in some fish. The shark went after the fish, and they ended up killing it.
But this is a real life tiger shark. That has no business being in Martha's Vineyard.
They're super rare for that area.
The fact that
Spielberg was able to capture that and turn it into, this scene is nowhere near the book.
No, they never catch a fake shark or whatever.
They never catch a fake shark at all, because Spielberg's good fortune just sometimes good fortune shines upon you, and this is a perfect example of that.
Which is a good thing, because this movie, if any movie has been like hit by a slew of bad luck, it'd be Apocalypse Now, but a close second would be Jaws. Pretty much any movie involving the water is always destined to be like a troubled production.
But there's some just naturally amazing scenes in this movie.
No, it's great. It's wonderful.
The scene coming up, obviously, when they're on the boat and Brody's just staring off into space and a shooting star just flies by.
Oh yeah, they just caught a shooting star.
Legit. That's a fucking shoot. That's goddamn. They were just filming and they
happened to be a shooting star.
So, but again, we'll expand on that later. But this is just good fortune on Spielberg's part. He got a whole scene out of it. He got a whole scene out of a rare shark being caught by fishermen in Martha's Vineyard.
I love it. I love when things come together
and
like
that's
that.
Just beautiful. That's what film should be about. You're just naturally rolling with the elements, and it helps.
But let's talk a little bit about the sequels. Just because this movie was so big, and so naturally there were a bunch of sequels.
Are you all right?
All right.
Yes.
And just each one just gets worse and worse, I guess. Is all I can talk about.
To be fair, part 2, which had, which had most of the original cast. In it.
Not Hooper, because he was ironically doing Close Encounters.
Because he had real work to do. But what was in it, and it was acceptably okay.
I call that one, I got some Joe Bob, but I like to use this also. Jaws the 13th, because that's the one that's the most like a slasher film. This one has elements of like a Halloween-esque slasher film, but that one really does, because pretty much all the shark's victims in that are oversexed teens. And then I don't know if you know this, but the third one was supposed to be a parody originally.
No, I didn't.
The third one was going to be like an airplane style parody of Jaws, and the original title was going to be Jaws 3 Humans 0. But then some other producer got a hold of it and said, no, we got to make this a real sequel. And also this 3D stuff is new. So, by law of the 80s, every movie with a 3 in the title had to be in 3D. But I wonder how it would have been as like a parody, like a Naked Gun style parody of Jaws movie.
Well, it would have to be Land. You know what I mean? It would have to be Land Shark.
Yeah, right. And then Jaws 4 is just terrible.
It's possibly
that's the hey, let's all take a vacation to the Bahamas and occasionally shoot a movie.
Tax write-off.
I
Drunk
mean,
all the time.
to be fair, you know,
it's worth watching for Michael Caine.
no,
because
Michael
Caine
Caine
is
got
just,
a big payday.
he's having the time of his life. I swear that he is drunk during half of the scenes.
And that's fine. Because an actor of his prominence does deserve a vacation. Because, God damn, that movie's so bad.
Yeah, but I think what it's leading up to is this the biggest example of like drop off in sequels.
No.
Okay, because this movie's amazing. This
Friday the 13th.
But
you've got to understand how far down that bar goes.
Yeah, but the Friday the 13th movies, like even the first one, which is like the most like the best like quality movie, was never the style of Jaws, you know.
Right.
And I just to go from a movie like this, which I consider like, yeah, it's one of my 50 favorite movies of all time, to a movie like Jaws: The Revenge, which is just so bad.
You know what? Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
the Friday the 13th movies, a lot of them are worse than Jaws: The Revenge, but they didn't start at such a high plane,
okay.
You know.
All right, I'll accept that. You know what? I'll give you that.
I was gonna say
fair.
The only thing that
That's
comes
fair.
close is the Rocky movies, and I don't agree with that because I love all the Rocky movies for various different reasons, except for 5. I don't like anything about Part 5. Well, I do like the street fight just because it's so lame. It's so out there that the series is going to end with Rocky just beating up a guy in the street.
Oh yeah.
But the Rocky movies, even the worst ones, all have something redeemable about them.
And what was redeemable about Rocky Balboa?
It brought back Stallone's career. Stallone was no longer just some like old washed up former action star. He could actually like, you know, be in good stuff. And that's what brought about the movie Creed.
As long as we're talking about lumpy things that are weird, what is the deal with this lava lamp?
Yeah, what's going on with it?
It's just sitting there not doing nothing with a big tumor in it.
Oh, no, it's allegedly moving now.
All right, so this is when Hooper meets the family or whatever. So let's talk about the giant elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So in the book, Hooper fucks Brody's wife. I mean, that's what we were building up to.
Yeah.
It turns out that Brody's wife used to date Hooper's older brother, I think. And she used to babysit him when he was like a little kid or whatever.
When he was on the vineyard.
Yeah, and then she sees this guy, this like young, attractive scientist or whatever, and basically sees like a sort of like what I could have had if I didn't marry some like working class cop or whatever like that. And that excites her vaginally, and then she, you know, goes and has an affair with Hooper.
And
because that happens.
Yeah.
My husband has a gun, but Hooper's got a Bunsen burner and tubes and all sorts of such.
And also lots of money.
Science, yeah.
Money, yes. They are very, very heavy on how wealthy Hooper is in the book.
Yeah.
And he's I mean, you know, he just strolls in, eats their food. You know, apparently you did that in the 70s. You know, if you did that nowadays, you get your ass in a stunner. Okay. And that's fine, you know, whatever. But, you know, he just fucking strolled in and absolutely buried the chief in front of his wife and ended up banging his wife.
So basically that sets up a whole rivalry between Hooper and Brody that goes out through the entire length of the book that is never addressed in this movie at all. And I think the movie is all the better for it because we don't
and it really
streamlines things.
Yeah, we don't need mafia subplots. Right. We don't need soap opera-esque love triangle subplots.
Between two of the three main characters.
Yeah.
Right.
You know which movie though did do the mafia
Casino
subplot? No, a shark movie.
Goodfellas
was the Italian cash-in sequel, Jaws 5, Cruel Jaws, directed by Italian schlockmeister Bruno Mattei. There's a whole subplot in that where the reason that the town wants to keep the beaches open is because the mob is there, and then there's like a whole like shootout with the mob or whatever, like halfway through the movie, and I was like, well, to be fair, this is probably the most accurate depiction of the book. It's god awful. It's like 50% reused footage from like other Italian movies and also Jaws, which is why it's really hard to get here because they use clips from Jaws without permission.
So it is illegal.
Yeah. But yeah, the only one that actually does a mob subplot. So it's got that going for it.
Remember how the shark sank the boat there?
Yeah.
You know how it's called the orca?
Yes.
There was another orca.
That's right.
And it ate some great whites.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole movie about it.
Yeah.
It was called Orca.
Orca the Killer Whale. That's there was a whole slew of Jaws knockoffs in like the late 70s, early 80s where, well, this is about a killer shark. So either like making a killer sea creature or just any... What else can we have than animal that eats people and put it in our movie or whatever like that?
We got a grizzly.
Yeah.
That was land shark.
Yeah, right. But Orca is the only one that really like openly called out Jaws, because there's a scene in the movie where the heroes get attacked by a great white and they're saved by an orca killer whale who proceeds to kill the great white shark. And then in Jaws 2, one of the first things they find is a dead orca like washed up on shore. It's been attacked by a shark. And I said they should have made a sequel to Orca because they just could have constantly been doing this back and forth. But sadly, Orca the Killer Whale never got a sequel.
Well, by the mid to late 80s, then Orca would have been taking on the Soviets. Because, I mean, that's only going to go so far. There are only so many Jaws movies.
Oh, it's moving.
Ah! Splooge. But the cool air from the fan over there is probably making it work harder.
Right.
But that's all right.
Work harder, you
fuck. You. One other thing we didn't get a chance to mention yet, but I'll mention it now, is just how amazingly well edited this movie is. Yeah. I think a lot of this movie's success is in editing, and I will say, thank goodness, Verna Field actually did get an Oscar for this, for best editing, because a movie's only as good as what you're able to work with, what you're able to cut together, and I think that's what makes a lot of this as good as it is. This is probably one of the most well edited movies that I've ever seen. So that's all. Just good job, Verna Field.
Can you expand on her a little more?
I don't really know anything about her. I'm not sure what else that she's edited.
I know that during filming, they would rush the dailies back to her, but because the fake shark works so little, it was hard for her to work on set in Martha's Vineyard, because they would give her like minutes of film to edit in. Oh no! So she and Spielberg, after filming was done, worked in her home to edit the film.
I love it.
See, I mean,
but yeah,
know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, just especially in like not these scenes, but especially the outside scenes. I never notice in any shots of the sky where the clouds are different, and that's always something that I tend to notice in movies that take place a lot outside when the clouds and the lighting changes.
Now this scene coming up here, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks great. What? It's filmed in a pool?
In a pool, yep. Because they wanted to get one good jump scare in there. So they decided after they were done filming to shoot one scene in a pool.
Exactly. The film was made.
Yeah.
And this scene with the dead underwater man.
Ben Gardner. Possibly Harry Mudd.
Yeah. After the first couple screenings, Spielberg was like, he says he got greedy. He's like, I can get one more scare into this film, and so he put up $3,000 of his own money to film that scene with the head, with the face.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's attached.
Yeah,
probably just a head. No, in a pool, wherever he lives.
Yeah, in California somewhere.
Yes. But yeah, and it did. The next screening, everyone screamed, and
it's great. It's one of my favorite jump scares ever in a movie, and there's a lot of bashing on jump scares, but they can be done well done sparingly.
Right. Like here, it sort of jumps out, but it doesn't really. It just happens to float by.
It just sort of pops up.
It's sort of done. Yeah, it's done well.
It reminds me of the speaking of Friday the 13th, the ending of Friday the 13th. In that, no matter how many times I watch it, it always still makes me jump a little bit because I never get the timing right.
Very well.
So yeah, good job on that. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the editing of it. Also during the whole end scene when they're out fighting the shark or whatever, they're only 40 feet away from land or something like that,
Right.
But they didn't want to show the land because they didn't want people to think oh, this is getting crazy. Let's go over to that land there and get out of here.
Correct.
So again, I just like that again how well edited it is. You don't actually ever see land until they get back from doing the deed and everything like that.
What they're doing.
It's just a great sort of it's just us in this thing now. I like that a lot.
Well, that was a decision too to make them seem more isolated. That you can't see it. Because at any point then, oh no, the shark's doing stuff. We'll just get back to land.
Yeah, right.
That way, it's not in the background anywhere. The audience can't think that because they're so far away. Especially once it starts to damage the boat. That sort of thing.
And that's something that this movie did better than the book, I think, because the book it's much more realistic, where they only stay until sundown and they go back to the land. The thing takes 3 or 4 days, something like that, and every time they just go back home. And I was like, it's good for a book because it's a little bit different, but for a movie that would just kill the tension so bad.
Yeah, because realistically, they have pretty good luck just to go out and run into it right away.
Yeah.
Also, for a film that's 2 hours and 5 minutes long, Spielberg does a good job of using that time wisely so that it doesn't feel long.
Oh, no.
Because there are a lot of, as we mentioned, Jaws ripoffs.
Yeah.
That are, a monster in the water or an animal on land or whatever. And they're probably all barely 90 minutes. And I'm sure not all of them are as interesting as
No, because it's the B movie problem. They have 2 or 3 good scenes, and then the rest of it is so boring. Yeah. It's just people in rooms talking because they don't have the budget to make really. Because they make enough intense stuff for a preview, and then everything else is just people sitting in rooms talking.
And then they canon.
Oh, the asylum. Yeah, speaking of the asylum.
What's going to happen here?
And again, shot in a pool.
Yeah, I love it. You would never know if somebody didn't tell you.
That's right. I mean, and that's legit.
The filter isn't working very good.
Yeah,
clean
how
that
well should it work, right?
Oh!
That's what you call head cheese.
Oh!
So another thing about the first screening of this, the John Williams soundtrack score wasn't added.
Oh.
And the audience was just like, it's all right.
But yeah,
no, music does so much.
Yeah, that's another thing. The music really does make this movie, and Spielberg didn't like it at first because, using John Williams, he was expecting a full orchestral score.
Yeah,
and he plays the music and just dun dun dun. He thought it was a joke. He's like, where's the real score? But no, it's less is more. Yeah, it's just that droning thing, which was done later on in the Razzie-nominated score for John Carpenter's The Thing. Just want to make another dig at the Razzies because they're the worst. Yeah, the Golden Raspberry Awards nominated The Thing for worst score. Your reaction says more than words ever could.
Here's the thing.
Sometimes I see what you did there.
Sometimes silence speaks volume.
Yeah. No,
when it comes to good movies, and lack of silence speaks bigger volumes when it comes to shit.
No, it's true.
The end. I mean,
another thing about the shark theme.
Yeah.
is that to build tension.
No, they are.
It was very similar to a heartbeat.
Yes.
So the more intense it gets,
goes faster.
It sounds faster, which in turn sort of psychologically train the audience to be more on edge as it sped up.
Yep. What's up?
They are talking to the mayor at this point.
Right.
This is the point where the mayor's balking, but he's not balking like he did in the book.
Yeah, no, he just comes off as a hard-headed asshole in this. Like, there's no reason for him to not, besides the fact that it's the 4th of July and they're going to get a lot of tourists or whatever that, you know? By the way, I like this. You know, people talk about different Spielberg techniques or whatever. Nobody ever really talks about scenes where a lot of actors are all talking at the same time. It really racks up the tension. Yeah, it's something that Robert Altman does really well too. But yeah, you never hear that a lot.
I think it's something that actors instinctively try not to do.
Yeah, so because everyone wants to be heard.
Lines, yeah. But that is more natural.
Yeah.
To have a group of people sometimes talk over each other unintentionally, you know, and it sells the scene. It's realism. Also, you mentioned film technique. You know, as I mentioned just minutes ago about the soundtrack, the shark theme.
Yeah.
How it's similar to a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
That's the type of thing for a young up-and-coming filmmaker to be conscious of.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't just film a film to make the thing, and here's the nude woman because your audience wants to look at it. Like, it's some of these ideas work subconsciously. You know, you're in a weird way manipulating your audience.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're not only making a film for them to sit and watch and be interested in because of its content, you're pulling them in.
Yeah, and all film is manipulation. I mean, sorry, like a lot of people don't like using the word manipulation, but all film or all stories, really, all good stories are manipulation in some way or another.
How they're told.
You want to manipulate the audience into feeling a certain way, otherwise you failed as a filmmaker. Which you know, I always get into arguments with people, like a lot of like film snobs or whatever, over Spielberg. I would get into constant like weekly arguments with my art of film professor in college because he hated Spielberg. He thought he was one of those. Spielberg's type of movie has, you know, ruined the creative energy of the 70s Hollywood or whatever like that, which, sorry, it was going to collapse sooner or later. Just Spielberg cracked the code on what made a movie like the biggest thing ever or whatever, and then everyone else just utilized it. Sorry, it's not his fault. But I feel like I have a small victory in that because he said, you know, we had to write a article about a various like movie every like week or whatever like that, and like write about a technique or whatever. And he said he would accept nothing by Spielberg, absolutely nothing. But I convinced him about my article about Jaws. I think it was about the editing in Jaws, and he thought that I made a really convincing argument, so he allowed me to write an article about Jaws. At which point I got a wonderful C grade on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
you can't make drug movies forever.
You can't make drug movies forever. I don't know. It's something that really like grates on me. You can't, you know, claim to be a big like film guy or whatever, and then just dismiss out of sight one of the greatest like film technicians working today. You know.
And there's the
author. Peter Benchley.
There he is, the author. Yes.
I guess they pitched to him the idea that, oh no, you have to be in the film because somehow it'll be less and it won't be taken seriously. You have to be in it, and then it'll make it all the more great. And at the time, he was like, "Yeah, I see what you're saying." And then, in hindsight, as he's telling that story, he's like, I don't know, but I got to be in my first movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like anyone could have played that.
Yeah, no, it was great.
He could have played a character, like some other actor could have played a character. Reporter Peter Benchley.
Yeah. Right.
Sure, put your shirt back on.
Why'd you fucking go in?
Yeah.
Take off your horrible striped suit jacket. Again, 70s, just an ugly, ugly decade.
Well, some man told us to, so we better go do it.
Let's hold our way in there.
Well, he probably figures, well, I'm old enough. If the shark gets me, it gets me.
He had his early bird.
But I gotta wait 30 minutes, you see?
I love that shot.
Yay, that old fart's doing it. Let's all swim. We'll show them how to have fun. There's the bat copter flying by.
That's what they need. They need some bat shark repellent spray. Maybe Bort can go in there.
That's right.
Come here, kid.
Oh, man.
Oh. We just run out of things to say.
No,
well, maybe for a moment.
Sitting here enjoying Jaws.
I mean, yeah, it's wonderful to enjoy.
Yeah.
Was that scene about the pond really in the book? I don't think it was.
No, I don't think any of Brody's kids ever like get close to the shark.
Right.
Well, sort of.
What?
But not. In the upcoming scene where one of the stuntmen gets it.
Yeah, no, in the movie, but I mean in the book. I don't think.
Yeah.
Although something does happen that's horrible to one of the kids in the book, involving the mafia. They just kill the one kid's cat.
They do
because
just leave it.
The mayor puts all this no going to the beach thing on the chief, and the mob decides to like muscle the chief into relenting or whatever. And so his youngest son is just playing with his cat outside, and then a car strolls up. This huge guy just grabs the cat and twists its head all the way around and throws it back at him.
That's right.
Don't see that in the movie.
Right. So you know how mob guys have nicknames? Like, what would that guy's name be?
I don't know.
Kitten Twist?
Bob Nick Twist.
I love it.
Nicky Twist Apollo.
Bob.
Hey, Twist, get over here. He's always eating like the ice cream twist. Yeah, I got him. I got that kid's head, and the kid's head. The kid's cat's head, and I just twisted it. You know how I do.
Yeah.
This kid deserves to be shot.
Yeah, these kids are complete shits.
Hey, Dick Warlock is one of the stuntmen in this.
Really?
Anytime I get to talk about a man named Dick Warlock.
Good old Dick Warlock.
That's a good day. He was in
Escape from New York. That's when we first saw the name.
I think maybe also to Halloween 2.
Yes, that's right.
And then I couldn't remember his name. I'm just like, oh, there was this guy, and he was in that movie, and his name was, what was it? It was Dick Rainbow.
Yeah, that's right. You call him Dick Rainbow. We're like, what? No, it's Dick Warlock.
I would just love to think that he could shoot like spells out of his dick.
I'll watch the old guy like steal the raft.
Yeah, get out of here, kids. I like how he steals the raft, but he's obviously walking.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to float.
The poor old lady gets trampled.
Spielberg says,
no, you're old.
Spielberg has said that he filmed at least 25% of the film at water level.
Okay, yeah.
Because that is when you're in the water.
That's what
what you see, not above looking down at all, but you're right.
Again, very
level.
smart. Yeah,
or not in the water, rather, but treading water.
Correct.
They're such simple ideas, but then you don't really think about it until like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
You know?
That is better that way.
Yeah.
And then we watch Shark Exorcist.
Oh my god.
And we're like, you know what? 10 minutes in, the only thing that would give this film any type of redeeming quality is if there's nudity. Then 80 minutes in, fuck this movie. Because we know that there's not going to be any nudity.
Yeah, that's true.
That was an awful, awful film.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of awful films, I was just thinking about the slew of animal attack movies that came around after Jaws, and probably the most infamous one. Oh, hey there.
Yeah,
I will say that the 70s were ugly except for one thing, the babes. Yeah. I love me some 70s women, but anyway.
I would have fallen for her.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'll save you, and I would just pick her up and run away.
I'm like, saving you from the shark.
She's like, what are we doing? We're in the city now. I'm like, hey.
Oh, brother.
But anyway,
oh, baby, I'm gonna make you so safe, baby.
But anyway, I was going to talk about the most infamous animal attack movie from that time, the movie Roar, which I still have to see. You have to let me borrow that sometime.
We have to do that. I got it on the shelf there.
We're going to do the Roar drinking game. I looked it up. There's only one rule. It's drink every time a lion bumps into somebody hard enough to make them stop talking. They said you will be completely hammered by the time the movie's over.
Yeah, that's one I've been wanting to see because the idea of it.
Oh my God!
It's maybe noble.
This is the first time you actually see the shark.
Yeah, there it is.
There he is.
That is a horrifying image.
That also is very smart and very effective, and I don't think I've seen anything like it in any other similar.
No.
Because
PG. I just like to reiterate this movie's rated PG.
but the fact that you see it but you don't, but it being underwater is more realistic.
That's what they do.
It's just. Such a little thing, but it works so much better.
Yeah.
It's more interesting to look at.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Actually, Spielberg for that scene pulled back because originally what was it? That man grabbed.
It was like dry. It was like swimming with him in his mouth, and it came to the kid, and that guy
he grabbed the kid,
pushed him out of the way,
and right as he was about to get taken down. In the shark's mouth, and he pushed him.
Yeah,
it was his last or his dying effort to save the boy.
Yeah, but no, the censors were like, that's a little too much.
Spielberg.
Oh, Spielberg thought that was too much.
he thought it was too bloody.
Okay.
Too soon, I guess.
Okay.
Even though we saw a geyser of blood erupt out of a boy.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it was we got treated to the violence. Now let us be afraid of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Again, it's not complete B movie schlock.
Right.
It's a B movie filmed like an A movie.
That's the thing. If this were a B movie, every chance it would be bloody gore.
Yes.
And more titties.
Much more titties. Yeah.
We'd see this lady in the shower. This nurse would be topless right now. That'd be a different kind of movie.
Well, I say you can just watch the slew of Italian Jaws knockoffs that came after this, and you'll find plenty of that.
Well, that nurse would be new, and her superior would come to her and be like, "You need to put something on," and she was like, "I burned my bra."
It's the 70s.
Get with it. I'm liberated. Go home. No one wants you here. You're a dame. You only gum up the works.
Now, this scene never happened in the book.
No. What is the catalyst for them? I don't think anyone dies. The shark just appears at the beach, and some people almost get attacked. I think is what it is.
Right. And that's enough.
And that's enough. Yeah. Well, now the cat's out of the bag. Like people are leaving in droves because they don't want to get attacked by a shark, or whatever. Right. So, yeah, and then they decide to bring in Quint.
Look now, Mayor, I got a printout from a computer. That cost a lot of money in 1970s, so you got to sign it.
These straight lines aren't going to draw themselves. $10,000. What else does he get? $10,000 and
booze.
A case of apricot brandy.
That's 30,000 comic books at this time.
Yeah, right. I do like
be fantastic.
I do like when he says get the mayor off my back about this zoning crap or whatever. Nice little character moment the fishermen are having conflict with the government. It's not really brought up. I just like that one line.
Or at least he
in particular is having a problem with the zoning issues.
And make my taxes go away,
Yeah. Oh, there's a little crony.
I tie the knots like he likes. When I do good, Master gives me sardines.
Oh no!
Oh God!
Bathtub vodka.
By the way,
But only the finest.
they all drink this in the book.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's free liquor.
You'll go blind. He took a forest shot.
Speaking of which,
Uh-oh.
we got some Slaughter Film brand liquor here. Bathtub rum.
Oh.
The stuff of the gods
Oh,
there.
like, what are you doing? I see.
Straight from God's pussy or whatever I said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guaranteed to go down smooth with a chaser.
I love that. He's like, I can do it. I do boating. I was in the America Cup trial. I love that in the Piranha movie, Piranha 3D. The first person who gets killed is just fucking Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
And later on,
I like to think it's the same character.
Yeah, later on they call him Mr. Hooper. Like,
but were they hanging with him?
Oh.
It's just sad. Like they all ended up dying in ocean-related stuff. Well, I mean, Brody died of a heart attack in Jaws 4, but according to his wife, he died of the fear of the shark. It's like they were all cursed. Although this would have been way worse originally, because in Jaws 4, the youngest son Sean gets killed by the shark.
Yeah.
Originally, that was supposed to be Chief Brody. It was supposed to be Roy Scheider.
Yeah.
First of all, that would have been awful just to have him die in the fourth movie. Second of all, the whole story of Ellen Brody starting to like go out with Michael Caine's character would have been so horrifically inappropriate. Her husband just died like 2 weeks or whatever early.
Yeah.
Like at least now there's like some sort of like length of time between that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, she's a fool.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say thank goodness that
And she's
Roy
a
Scheider
fool.
didn't care about millions upon millions of dollars and said, no, fuck this and fuck your stupid Bahamas movie.
Bahamas movie.
Remember that time we did one of these Netflix movie nights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when Bork was there?
Oh my God. Yes.
Remember when he checked out halfway through and
Yes.
puked in Hose's sink twice?
Yes, I remember all this.
I mean, I don't hold it against him. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, Shark Cage.
Yeah, Shark Cage. So parts of this anyway were filmed in Australia.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Ron and Valerie Taylor. They shot
Sure.
all the real shark footage.
Because they did that. That was their profession, I guess. Animal stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
they're
they
animal
knew how to
photographers.
film sharks.
Yep.
So they were in charge of filming the underwater shark stuff,
Mhm.
in which to make the shark look larger, they had a miniature cage with a miniature person. in
Yep,
it.
yep.
And when the shark attacked, there was supposed to be a doll, so that the person wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But just by chance, they happened to film a shark get close enough to the cage that it got caught in one of the wires.
That's
Mhm.
right.
And so it struggled and flailed about, and they're like, it's doing what we've been waiting for it to
Yeah.
do. So if you look close, there's no one in the cage.
Yeah, yeah.
But, that's a testament to the editing, I guess.
Mhm.
Because if you do it just right, no one will notice,
Yeah.
right?
And that's coming up later on.
No, it's great footage, but
it's beautiful.
it always freaks me out because I was like, oh God, that poor shark is like caught up in those
Yeah.
ropes. How's he gonna get
It
out?
did get out.
It
Okay,
did get
yeah.
out. They showed it actually.
It got tangled and struggled for a while because, I mean, that's the thing. You see this animal is caught in your own fucking trap,
Yeah, right.
but you don't want to trap it. You don't want to hurt it.
Right.
You want to intervene, but it's a great fucking white. Is it going to take your hand off in the
Right,
process?
Yeah, yeah.
So they just let it go, and it ripped the cage, which was being held
By,
like tethered
wires or
to
whatever.
the boat,
Yeah.
and it ripped it free, and it just
Started,
fell
like,
all the way to
tumbling
the
end over
bottom
end,
of the, not the ocean, not that it was that deep, but where they were. It was
Wherever
only
they
so
were,
deep.
yeah.
and it kind of like wiggled around before it got free finally.
Okay.
So it didn't get free, but yeah, I'm watching the footage and like the special features, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
So what happened? Like, what am I watching a murder here?
Yeah. Am I watching a shark snuff film?
Yeah. But it got out, which is good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure that would have been something that we would have heard of long ago. You know,
they really killed
the shark.
They
killed the shark. Spielberg would have to like pay all sorts of reparations to the shark community, and that would have been the end of his career.
All of this, I will say, I mean, this movie is indirectly responsible for a lot of shark death because
probably.
After this, yeah, people were like, man, these sharks coming into our land and eating our tourists. We got to get them now. We got to stop them. So, yeah, there were a lot of, like, just wanton killing of sharks after this movie came out, unfortunately.
Listen here, shark. If you're going to ask me a question and other such shark-related racism.
Yes, that's correct.
Chum. Just blood and fish guts.
Yeah, correct. It's like the shit they scoop up off the floor at the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, basically.
At the cannery or whatever. Oh, yeah, Old Spice.
Yeah.
Fisherman's friend.
Oh, yeah, do you remember the weird baby dolphin subplot in Jaws?
I don't.
Quint has a secret weapon on how to catch a shark. He's got like this container. It's got something in there, and then no one knows what it is. And finally, they open it, and it's a baby dolphin. It's like it's not even a baby. It's unborn. Like what happened was a dolphin jumped up on his boat and like
whacked it.
Yeah, he whacked it, and it basically shot a baby out.
It was like yeah,
and he took that and was going to use it as like prime, bait for some like catch or whatever. And like Hooper's all against it because he's like a big like animal rights guy or whatever like that. It's like a whole thing, but they don't talk about the baby dolphin. And
was that baby dolphin like special bait?
So
like was it
Hooper-
prime bait?
Well, because it was stillborn, like the meat was like really tender or whatever like that.
So it was master bait.
Oh no.
Oh, you.
So the tank thing, actually, Peter Benchley walked off the set of the movie because of this, because he hated this ending so much.
Well, he hated the idea that it would bite down on it.
Yeah, and explode. And I love that Spielberg basically said, "I don't care."
Yeah,
I don't care what's realistic. I want to see the audience out of their seats cheering.
Yeah.
And again,
why didn't they bring a sidekick?
Yeah, I don't know.
Would that have been too many guys?
Yeah.
Or
Because that guy probably was literally some guy they found on the shore for a day.
That's true.
And to have to pay him to be on a boat was probably hazardous to many people's healths, including the directors.
I wonder who that guy is.
If no one was looking at you, would have just started to eat the film. Get rid of him. He was like the banjo kid from Deliverance all grown up.
Oh, our executive producer has just walked into the house.
Yeah.
That's an absolute lie. The person responsible for all of the footage you've seen and will continue to see has just walked into the building.
It's true.
Oh, you kid.
There's beer. Go drink it.
I bought wine.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
There's pudding shots in the freezer.
Oh, sweet. Woo!
Yeah, this is. I want to know how many guys, not because of alcohol or anything, but legitimately, have been harnessed to their fishing pole and have been pulled into the water by massive fucking denizens of the deep.
Yeah, right.
No, it doesn't happen. Because of the setup of if you're on the ocean, a fishing boat.
Yeah.
The way you're set up, you can't. I mean, it's literally designed. You can't get pulled into the water. The line will break first.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
That's probably safe.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, because they've done it.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Like, you know, I mean, I was on a fishing vessel in the Caribbean.
Oh, cool.
And they had that setup where you could sit in that chair with the paddles, but if it got to the point where the shark was going to pull you to the point where you were going to, or not just the shark, the fish, anything would pull you to the point where you would go into the water, you had so much leverage that the line would break before you would go in.
I gotcha. Okay, that's interesting.
That's why is the emphasis on this line.
Yeah.
Well, I also assume sharp teeth, you know.
Well, sure. I mean, but that, yeah.
But yeah, because like, you know, people fish marlin and all kinds of like
big stuff. Yeah.
They'll fish big stuff, but it doesn't, you know, clamp down the way that
like a bass does.
Not just a bass, but like, you know, like an like an intelligent animal would.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, like a dog.
Meaning, if you have a more intelligent species,
they'll start gnawing at the wire.
They'll gnaw at the wire, or they'll run.
Yeah. I gotcha.
And take off. And yeah, if it gets to the point where you're losing your leverage,
I see.
They'll either pull the line to the point where it snaps, or they'll pull the line so much that it thins and can't sustain the pressure.
Oh, okay.
Before the point where you come out of the chair because you're holding onto the rod.
So it's kind of a built-in safeguard.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, and you have to do that because some animals, like if for example, you know, just bullshitting out there, let's say you hook a blue whale. And the blue whale's just like,
don't know you.
That shit's happening. You know, you're not dragging that shit on the boat or anything. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, executive producer.
Thank you.
Pudding shots. What's a pudding shot?
They're some of the best things in the history of the world.
Yeah.
By the way, folks out there, if you have not had a good old-fashioned pudding shot lately, let Slaughter Film know. I will find the recipe and I will give it to you.
Yeah, they're better than Jello shots.
They are better than Jello shots.
Jello shots kind of suck.
They don't kill you.
I want
they don't
something.
Taste like shit. They taste great.
I want something that doesn't quite taste like a fruit, but also has horrible amounts of alcohol.
Just swimming in it. Yeah.
Alcohol is not swimming in these kids.
No, yeah. I mean, you can taste the alcohol, but you can also taste the pudding.
And
which is delicious.
And you don't vomit after 3, quite frankly.
But after 7 or 8, you might.
Well, here's the thing. You know.
Is the rest of our Jaws commentary just going to turn into the joys of pudding shop?
It may. You know, that's the path we've chosen. But anyways, the fishing scenes, back to your previous point.
Yeah.
On this are
hour and 20.
Oh yeah, we're almost exactly an hour and 20 minutes.
I forgot to do that more frequently.
Yep.
Very
Sorry
nice.
about
that. That's how people, you know. I mean, again, I'm not a fisherman.
Yeah,
and I don't know shit about fishing, but you know, the folks that do this for a living know their shit.
Yeah.
And the folks that do this casually, even, you know, on the ocean, they know their shit. So if you're chum,
delicious.
Yeah, here it comes. Yeah, but even if you trap in cages or pods or whatever they're called, or nets, like there are a lot of inherent dangers in that. Like if you get tangled in a net as you're dropping it off in the water, it's going to pull you down, just the weight of it. Like there's no saving you, you know, unless you can cut yourself free.
Yep, there's the shark for the first time.
Oh, hi, guys.
5%.
I'm just Bruce.
I'm a shark. Suck my dick. I'm a shark.
That's right.
Isn't this chum fabulous?
Here we go.
I don't know why the shark is gay.
No, it's great.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, he says.
I like how that's become a thing to say about.
I say that. I literally say that line 5 to 10 times a week at my job. You know, in life, in general, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Wow.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. You know.
Last time I was at the hose house, I used the bathroom. Came out. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's probably. I thought that your most quoted Spielberg line would always be, "There's the road."
It's a great line, but you know.
I guess yeah, we're gonna need a bigger boat. Works in more scenarios. You can really only use "There's the road" for one scenario.
Think of it though. I mean, that scenario happens quite a bit, but yes. God damn, that's true.
Oh, here's a fun story about what a dork I am. Back in the day, back in like the late '90s or whatever, we used to have one of those catalogs you could like get CDs or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And one of the first CDs that I ever bought was the Jaws soundtrack, because that's what I spent most of my like childhood listening to, were movie soundtracks more than anything else, you know. Oh, Spielberg's cameo.
Yep.
The Amityport Life Station.
I think the first CD I ever spent money on was, like, you know, as a teenager, my first time was Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits.
Oh, nice. Did it have the man behind the mask?
No. Actually, it was all like his stuff from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
It was like his first Greatest Hits.
Yeah. I know my first CD I ever bought was,
I don't think that was ever on a Greatest Hits.
Yeah. No, my first CD I ever bought was the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack. But yeah, if you like looked at my CD collection as a kid, as like a teenager or whatever, it was like 80% movie soundtracks.
Yeah. Yeah, that I had. One of my earliest CDs was the Metallica Black album.
Oh yeah, classic.
Then some Nirvana.
Okay, yep. Basically, the typical '90s kid collection, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. My first Marilyn Manson CD.
Oh yeah.
Was Mechanical Animals.
Okay.
Because a kid I went to school with, like the year it came out, he was like, "Hey man, I need some money and I'm selling some stuff. I played this shit out. You like want to buy it?" So it was like $5. I'm like, okay,
sure.
the shit out of that. And then it was funny because like 6 months later, another friend was, I don't know, experimenting with music, because that's the age you do that with.
Yep.
And he bought Antichrist Superstar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's like, it's okay, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll buy that one too. So I got into Marilyn Manson by proxy.
Well, that's kind of how you get into a lot of music, you know.
Yeah.
Just, other people recommend stuff to you, and then you're like, oh, this is good, you know.
Well, a good friend of mine got into Megadeth because his older brother moved out and left all his music behind.
Classic.
So and so he's like, well, I bought it for myself because I was afraid he's going to come get it. So you can borrow it. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I got so much secondhand music.
Yeah.
It's very triumphant music there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is.
And here's, again, another example of the shark not working.
Yeah.
That's where the barrel idea
use the barrels,
which is good because it's another instance of you don't see the monster.
Yes.
But it still works very well.
Oh, the barrels were used in the book also.
They were.
That's actually spoilers for the book. That's how the book ends.
The book ends? They hold the books up?
The barrels hold the book up.
They actually drown the shark.
Yeah, the shark just eventually just gets exhausted from all the barrels attached to him and he dies. Again, I can totally see where the movie was going for when they wanted to end it in a more glorious fashion, you know?
Well, there were 100 of them on the wall.
Oh my god.
I don't know, I guess that was bottles, right?
Yeah.
Ah, shut up.
That's all right. I knew where you were coming from. Yeah, now if this were the book, they would be heading back home right now.
Yeah.
But instead, they go here and get drunk. I love it.
Awesome speech.
Yeah, the Indianapolis speech, probably like one of the most talked about speeches in movie history because no one really knows who exactly wrote it. Because like there were like 5 different writers of Jaws, and then
after the book, the author wrote the first draft, and then Spielberg wrote another draft, and then it was given to another writer,
Carl Gottlieb, who plays what's his name, the newspaper guy in this. That's actually the writer called Carl Gottlieb. But then also it was like
another writer wrote a paragraph, which was his dialogue.
Yeah.
And then Spielberg was like, "Oh, I like that. Expand upon that."
Yep.
So then he wrote a whole speech. So like this script has like 5 writers attached to it.
Yeah. Actually, the guy that wrote the whole like speech, the long version of the speech, I guess, was famous, insane filmmaker John Milius, the director of Conan the Barbarian and the writer, director of Conan the Barbarian and Red Dawn. I guess he wrote like I want to say like a 15-page speech or like something insane like that. And then Spielberg and Robert Shaw and I think one of the other writers like eventually cut it down.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. This is back in the day. In many scenes, guys had creative control, creative freedom.
Sure.
So if shit happened, you'd expand upon it.
Sure.
You wouldn't just break character and say, "Oh, goddamn, I don't know what's going on." Oh shit. No. So they'd roll with it. And I'm sure, obviously I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
his appendix
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. That's the
great.
thing. You've got all this creative freedom.
Yeah.
You've got some great direction.
Oh yeah.
You also have the actors,
the acting,
natural creative freedom.
Everything about this scene is great. Although he might have given Robert Shaw a little too much creative freedom because the first time they did this, he asked if he could go and have a couple of drinks to get a character. Came back completely hammered. I think he like said like 2 lines of the speech and started talking about his family, and then they're like, "We got to stop production because like he can't. He's like not even coherent." And then supposedly he called Spielberg at like 3:30 in the morning to apologize and like begged him to give him a second chance to do the speech again, and they did that.
Remember right there where Hooper opens his shirt?
Yeah, Mary Ellen Moffat. She broke my heart.
Well, no. In an earlier version of the script, he said, "Oh, I got wounded in a knife fight at Bed Bath & Beyond Black Friday. It was hell." They're like, we don't know what a Bed Bath & Beyond is, so let's change that.
But I always mention John Milius when I get a chance to because I think I told you this, but he was the Coen brothers' main inspiration for Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
So I just envision Walter from The Big Lebowski writing the Indianapolis,
which is amazing.
Yeah.
What was the show, Rawhide, that he was obsessed with in that?
Branded.
Arthur
Digby Sellers wrote 157 episodes.
Brilliant.
Not exactly a lightweight. Yet his son's a fucking dunce.
Is this your homework?
Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
So yeah, you know the real like Indianapolis story?
Gonna be gold bricked by a kindergartner?
Yeah. No,
Go ahead.
It's really tragic.
Expand on that.
So yeah, the Indianapolis was the ship that was delivering the Hiroshima bomb. On its way back, got attacked, and there was no distress signal because the mission was top secret. And
Correct.
Yeah, I think they said like 1,500 people were in the water, and they were there for 3 or 4 days, I think. Most of them actually died of dehydration. There were like sharks involved, but like most of it was just exposure to the elements.
Right.
But anyway, when they were retrieved, became a big controversy in the news or whatever, and the captain of the Indianapolis ended up being the only captain who was court-martialed for losing a ship in wartime. He was dishonorably discharged, and he ended up committing suicide like a couple of years later. Like this one kid, some like high school kid, watched Jaws, learned about this story like from the speech, and then decided like research it. And then like I'm not sure like how this went, but I guess he's been like working like with a group or whatever to clear this guy's name because he was acting under orders. They said, like, no distress signal. We don't want word getting out that we're delivering this new, like, secret weapon or whatever like that. But
well, because if you do, if that radio broadcast or whatever is picked up or deciphered, then the enemy could come get the weapon.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was a big, controversial situation, and basically the Pentagon placed all the blame on the captain. Classic type of situation right there. But I gotta look that up. I wonder if he's his reputation has since been cleared. I mean, it doesn't matter to him anymore, but to his family or whatever, like that.
Well, I think too, if you enough people know the story.
Yeah. But just a tragic story. But I'm happy. I'm happy that more exposure has been brought to it because of this movie and everything.
Right.
So it's cool. But just a very interesting tale about near the end of World War II. So. But but it wasn't all sharks.
No,
most of it was just dehydration. Is what killed a lot of the guys. Right. But that's all. I mean, what else can I say? But the speech is amazing.
It is an amazing.
And again,
speech,
fuck the Academy Awards for not nominating Robert Shaw. I don't even know who was nominated in '75. Oh, I know one. Brad Dourif for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he's really
fair
good.
enough.
So yeah. The '70s were just amazing. Actually, I consider '75 to be the best year in movies. I think that it was a phenomenal year just all around for like all types of movies that came out that year. Watch more movies from 1975. A lot of them are amazing. Also, one of my favorite movies, Nashville. One of Robert Altman's best movies came out in '75. Also, one of Stanley Kubrick's best movies, Barry Lyndon, came out in '75. So
yeah, people. I never hear anyone talking about Barry Lyndon.
Barry Lyndon is amazing. It's very long. It's very slow, so a lot of people don't like it. But it's beautiful to look at. And that's one of the movies where every shot just looks like a painting.
Because it was like before he, I guess you could say, got more experimental.
Yeah.
Or more deliberate.
Yeah.
With his films.
Right.
I like this song.
Good old Drunken Sailor song.
It's also used in The Battery.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, The Battery was great.
Where they're in the back of the car and just bored. They're surrounded by zombies.
And Brody bumped his head again. He hit that swinging light. Brody bumps his head a lot in this movie.
He's been concussed. The rest of this film is just a fever dream.
Way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right to my head. Just a great drinking song.
I like how the shark wants to join in.
Yeah.
Bang on the boat.
The shark busts in and starts singing along with them.
Hey guys, I like Show Tooth. My name's Bruce. In case you didn't catch it.
I'm now just gonna forever envision Bruce as just really camp gay.
Hey guys, want to sing another song? How about you guys know this one? I'm a man eater. Little Hall & Oates for me buddy Bruce.
You've completely ruined the shark for me now. I can't envision him now as anything but just camp gay.
Get it, man eater?
I get it.
Waka waka. No, not the tomatoes. I hate the water.
It's all your fault, ocean.
Stupid Poseidon. I'll show you once and for all.
Oh, here comes our good friend Shooting Star. Oh.
Oh yeah. I would like to pretend that is somehow tied into Close Encounters.
That was the aliens on their way to visit another Richard Dreyfuss character.
Yeah. Yeah, there it was again.
Yeah.
Although that was.
Well, maybe he has twins.
Yes. Still, that was a phenomenal scene.
Yeah.
I've been drinking. Where's my other drink?
Uh-oh.
Do you remember when our friend Clinton came to visit us, and he had his like little 4-year-old son? He's 4 years old at the time. And I was watching Jaws, and it, like I guess really freaked him out. And his mom got all mad at me because he had a nightmare about a shark that day or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but in my mind I was like, it's okay. It's just Jaws. It's rated PG, you know.
I think the correct answer was, it's all right. It's okay. Get out of my house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's my house. And you know, it's Jaws. It's not like I was watching I Spit on Your Grave or something like that. Like,
it's an American classic.
it is. No, I get it. His mom was freaked out because what moms are supposed to do. So, you know.
Well, and also this isn't like
Oh!
a real PG movie.
No, there are so many people. I've talked to like at least a half dozen people and asked them, "What do you think Jaws is rated?" And every one of them has said R. I said, "Nope."
Yeah,
PG.
because people need to be less sensitive
Yeah.
to life and learn to fucking parent.
Well, you'll have that too.
I mean, when you restrict something, it means that nobody under any guidance under the age of 17 can handle what you're doing. The only things that qualify for that are like pornography and goddamn fucking like rape and murder and shit like that.
Yeah, like
I think
That's the only thing in my mind that without parental guidance
I mean,
cannot be absorbed
no, you're right.
under the age of 17.
Yeah.
At the age of 18 in America, you can fight and die for our great country.
No, you're right.
Okay?
And
You
this
can't drink
Yeah.
because goddamn, that would be the worst thing ever. But goddamn, you can fight and die.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. You know.
Well, I
it's just-
think.
sorry to get all political.
Well,
No, you're right.
No, you're right. It's especially this. Like there's a shark
There's another
attacking
barrel.
people, and people are trying to hunt the shark to protect the hole or whatever.
Yeah.
So even for someone who's a child to watch this, it's scary.
Yes.
But you know what? In real life, that is scary.
Life
Yeah,
is
I was
scary.
gonna say this movie's
It's not
this movie's intense
gratuitous.
and scary, but yeah, there's nothing really inappropriate in it.
And
No,
but I
there
think
isn't.
when it comes to the rating,
Yeah.
the rating misrepresents the content of the film. Like if you didn't know anything about Jaws and you were trying to gauge what by the rating what is going to be in this,
Yeah.
PG doesn't really say anything.
No,
Yeah.
that's correct.
It says
But
it all.
if-
Parental guidance is suggested.
And it is very heavily in this movie, and that's fine. But guess what? At the time, the rating was correct,
Yeah. Yep.
and you cannot.
It's just
You know.
it's weird to me now that in this day and age, Jaws has the same rating as the kids movie Inside Out.
Yeah. Like I could see this as modern should be PG-13, but
Yes.
it wouldn't get it.
Yeah, this is the equivalent
No,
of a
this is-
PG-13. Yeah.
This is like an R or NC-17 rating nowadays.
And
If they
Someone
rated
said
this shit,
ass.
OMG, PG-13. Holy shit, full frontal nudity, NC-17.
well, I was gonna say what
Like,
qualifies Inside Out to be a PG movie? Inside Out is a total G. Like, there's nothing in the movie that's objectionable. Like,
It might be that some of the
Well, people
Emotions.
don't always get along. Yeah, and there's themes.
are
Oh,
more
there's
intellectually
shark.
Yeah.
complex for G.
I
Yeah.
guess I don't know. I think that they just did that because G has the effect that it's kind of like the inverse of NC-17.
Yeah, no one will go see it.
People say G and like, oh, it's for little babies. I'm not gonna watch that. But like, people don't know what ratings mean. G just means everyone. It doesn't mean for babies. It means general audience. Anybody can come see this. You know.
By the way, that's why America is intellectually at the top of the game around the world.
Sorry, this movie always makes me like think about just how full of shit the ratings are.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack Wayne. Cocksucker.
Well, like they're a good idea in practice, but they're just never, or in theory they're a good idea, but just in practice they're never used right. You know?
That is correct. Uh-oh.
I'm just sitting here watching this great movie.
No, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, don't fucking fool yourself.
Watch out. Oh, your ass.
And if, I mean, in real life, he probably would have been cut up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would give him some rope cuts. Yep. That shit's tight.
And again, I mean, they're, within arm's reach of the shore here.
Yeah.
But you don't know it.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's another movie where the special effects, you don't really think about it.
That's right.
How do they make that boat move around? Because like the boat was actually like rigged up with some stuff to fill it up with water and then pump the water back out. So they can basically sink it and unsink it over and over again. But again, you don't think about that stuff. You just see a shark pulling a boat. But it's not until you think like, oh yeah, they didn't really have a shark pulling a boat around. So how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
You know what I'm bummed out that I'll never get to see? The Universal Studios Jaws ride. They discontinued that a couple of years ago. I just it's it's not Universal Studios without the Jaws ride to me.
Well,
and also you can no longer ask for Babs because too many people caught on to that. They were losing money because so many people were asking about Babs. For those who don't know, in the movie Animal House, it's revealed that in the Where Are They Now at the end, that Babs is a tour guide at Universal Studios.
That's right.
At the end of every Universal Studios movie for a couple of years of that, in the end it would say visit Universal Studios, ask for Babs. And if you did that, you got a day free day pass, whatever, at Universal Studios. But then everybody was asking for Babs, and Universal Studios was losing money. So they were like, "Yep, no more asking for Babs."
Is it strange that this part of the film is like the most exciting? There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nonstop action.
Yeah.
Like, for specific moments, this is the less memorable part.
Oh, you think so?
Like early in the film, you have like the girl who gets eaten first, very memorable.
Mm-hmm.
There's lines like bigger boat and the stuff with the mayor. But from, I think, after the time they sing the song together and the shark attacks, to the point where it ends, this is a lot of barrels.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad.
No, that's fair.
No, I get where you're coming from.
Analysis. Yeah.
I just don't think about it because it's just so intense.
Oh, right.
Because you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know the shark is not contained.
Like thinking back,
Well,
thinking back, not having it in front of me, there's less to reference during these scenes.
Yeah.
There's less.
Right.
I get you.
Right.
What I like about this movie and what I like about a lot of these like big like tentpole movies is how it kind of transcends genre. Because in the beginning it's straight up horror. Like the opening scene, it's almost like a slasher movie, and then it sort of becomes a drama there halfway through, and then the end is just like a total like action adventure like type story.
Right.
I like that. I like when movies can do that when they can be multiple things at the same time.
And again, the music reflects that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I love those.
the shark theme is not too different from what we get with Psycho.
Yes.
And when the action parts here are sort of adventurous.
Yeah, it almost has like a
pirate-like.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, it's almost like an Errol Flynn types thing going on there.
Keep pumping, you fuck.
Fuck your pump.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do at this. Oh shit.
No, it's okay. I got a pump with the tube on it. I'm gonna fill up some
that's
bicycle.
how they did it. I mean, that's how. How else are you gonna pump a boat?
Pump the water out.
You had to literally sit there and manually pump out hundreds of gallons of water, a fifth of a liter at a time. There was
the only time you saw land there when they're heading back to land.
That's right. Good point.
We missed the line, but I almost wish that the movie ended this way when Quint says, "Back home we got a taxidermy man. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I brought him." But yeah, I want to see him killing the shark and just bringing that into the taxidermy office.
On a flatbed.
Yeah, just on a big flatbed. I want this mounted on my wall.
We're gonna open up a shop. We'll charge admission.
Yeah. But no, instead Quint had to have his freak out here and ruin everything.
Hey, no.
I know, he's having his war flashback.
This is pre-NAM.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, men didn't have flashbacks or anything. It was shell shock.
Yeah. And you just drowned it out with the sweet, sweet booze.
God damn.
30 miles an hour. You madman.
How do miles an hour compare to knots?
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the comparison
please
is.
Send that.
Yeah,
us.
tell us how.
It's a mystery
because literally none of us know. We live on a fucking lake and we have no idea what the hell knots mean.
Yeah.
I think that's just another thing where we overcomplicate stuff. Like, why is it different?
Why does it gotta be starboard and port? Why can't it just be right and left? Why you gotta make everything confusing, nautical guys?
I don't know. So I put the front of the boat there.
That's it.
Oh, thank you. This, but
mystery beer. See, you know what the sequels missed out on?
What's that?
Every time it was just like, oh, there's another shark.
Mm-hmm.
But they never explained or tried to explain in a cheap sequel why the shark was so big or aggressive.
Yeah.
It could have been pollution. It could have been genetics.
It could have been the Soviet Union.
It could have been.
I mean, the Soviet Union made a ton of shit fucking real in the 80s.
They just have a Tremors moment where they're all just sitting around discussing what it is.
Yeah.
they come with every single conclusion.
Well,
it's a commie motherfucker.
Stalin tried. I find it strange that this is the second time I'm bringing this up for Slaughter Film, but Stalin, during the 60s or whatever, tried to create an ape man.
Yes, he did. He tried to create ape men.
He ordered Soviet women to breed with apes. I assume at gunpoint.
I'm guessing. Well,
there
it's
could
Stalin,
be ape
so
men
yeah.
out there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And so now there's all sort of like speculation. Did it work?
Did it
Is that
work?
why there are big feet? Ooh, who knows?
Yes, it clearly worked.
You hear stories every now and then of idiots who own apes. Oh, I ripped my face off.
Yeah.
These poor women had sex. Or they didn't
do anything with them. Here's the thing. That commie motherfucker, okay? Yeah, he'll threaten them at gunpoint. You get in there, what the fuck are you doing? That goddamn fucking baboon or what the fuck ever they have in there. Rhinoceros. I don't know. What
they were chimps, actually. They used chimpanzees.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're gonna put their crank in a woman. What a bunch of fucking commie horse shit.
Well, they might. Baboons actually regard humans as like fellow baboons.
Sort of identify.
Yeah, they sort of identify with.
They know what titties are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they do, but here's the thing: guns are neat. Baboons don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, but the person who has the gun pointed at them.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, just
Well,
give the chimp a hand job until he gets.
That's the job. I love Mother Russia, but
I love communism. See,
not enough to fuck a
why. God damn it.
See, these are the hard-hitting topics. So yeah,
damn communists.
Here's the cage with the little man in it.
Yeah, so these are scenes were filmed in Australia.
Scenes
well, not here, but the underwater scenes. Yep.
And also later when I heard you talking when I left the room momentarily.
Yeah.
Especially when we get to the later scenes where the boat starts to sink.
Yeah.
It was a second boat filled with a bellows.
Yes, that's right.
It could control it sinking and
it
then
could,
fill up with air and then raise again.
That's right.
To do take after take of it sinking.
Right.
It's very cool because you don't really think about that.
No, a lesser director would have just ordered 50 boats. They really would have corrected our reef. But Spielberg
build
is
a whole
very
new
short-sighted.
ecosystem down there.
That's right.
Yep, little cage with a little person and a regular size shark.
Yeah, so let's see if we can spot if it's empty, a guy, or a doll.
Yeah,
that's right. This is a good game.
Yeah, although the empty cage did bring about one of the biggest differences from the book, because spoiler again for the book. Hooper fucking dies. The shark busts into the cage and fucking eats him. And then Brody starts like shooting at the shark while it's got Hooper in his mouth, and one of his shots misses and hits Hooper in the neck.
Bummer.
Yeah. But yeah, they had the empty cage there when the shark's like flashing around or whatever. So they changed the ending of the movie to make Hooper survive.
Yeah.
Which I think was a correct choice because Hooper is a completely different character.
Well, also it saves that scene if anyone notices the cage is empty.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm happy to change because like the Hooper in this and the Hooper in the book are very different people.
They really are.
Oh.
Now that's obviously
the machine. Yep.
Right.
Got you.
That's real.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's a real shark.
Yeah, you can tell when it moves.
Like that. That's a real shark,
right.
obviously. Yeah.
I think his nose is pointier than the than Bruce.
That's wee Hooper.
Yeah.
You suppose Bruce is any relation to the shark from Batman?
That's what this is all about. He's coming for revenge because Batman killed his father. That's what we needed. We needed to call the goddamn Batman.
So, I assume most of this right there is just a little guy.
Yes.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which, that's what they referred to him in the special features.
As a little guy?
Well, the Australian couple who filmed this.
Yeah.
Were like, oh, Hollywood sent us a Hollywood little man.
Right, because again,
not just any little man, a Hollywood little man.
Well, to be fair, he was little. And he was of a male zone.
Yeah.
He was on the male spectrum.
And he was from Hollywood, so.
I guess he was terrified, though.
Well, yeah.
Because he was just like, he was normally used to riding horses.
This shit is
here comes that. There it is.
Legit.
Yeah, that's the real shark attacking the
It's
empty.
I know the shark got out.
Attacking.
He's caught. He got caught in the ropes.
Well, attacking.
Yeah.
He's actually just freaking out because he can't get out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% legit.
Yeah.
Right and again, Spielberg playing to what he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of this movie is just, well, here's what we got,
And that's fair.
And somehow it turned out amazing.
But I mean, Yeah, again, that's a legit great white.
Yeah.
That they got caught in a cage. How?
Yeah.
You know,
This movie is just the greatest happy accident in the history of film.
it really is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that Robert Shaw took out his real fake tooth. His tooth that he lost in a bar fight, I think it was.
Forrest.
His real fake tooth.
tooth?
Yeah. Sorry.
Are we in Narnia?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That looked pretty convincing.
Yeah. No, they tried to do a similar shot with that in Jaws 2, and it's way worse because the shark like hits up against the boat and his head crushes in, and you can see inside his mouth like the mechanics that make the mouth open and close.
So
another example on how the sequels were so much worse.
I forget the man's name, but the effects guy who
Carlo Rambaldi.
sure
Yeah.
was instrumental in building Bruce.
Yeah.
Also worked with Harryhausen,
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
which explains a lot.
This is the ultimate PG moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of PG here. Parental guidance is suggested.
I like how
He's just
still
cutting the shark.
Yep.
fighting, you know.
Oh,
Should we get
parental. Yeah.
for alive?
Drink for alive.
But I was like, oh yeah, so Carlo Rambaldi, yeah, he worked with Harryhausen back in the day, and he also did the effects for very different Alien movies. He designed E.T. and he helped design the alien from Alien. He didn't design it. That was H.R. Geiger, but he did the double Jaws. That was his contribution to it. But yeah, also made the shark. And I think the shark looks fine. I mean, it's been always a joke. The shark looks fake. Thanks, Marty. But I think it looks fine. It looks like a shark. You know?
Yeah, no, I think.
But again, in the book,
passes quite
this scene, that scene that just happened, is not there.
No, basically,
I mean,
Quint gets pulled into the water and drowns, and then Brody's by himself, and the boat's sinking. He gets out and just starts swimming. He tries to swim to his shore as quickly as he can while the shark in tow. And right when it gets next to him, it just stops, and Brody looks over, and the shark is just dead from exhaustion.
Right.
And then the book just ends. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, that happened. Yeah.
That's less.
It's very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. But if you have some sort of encounter here where he's left thinking, did it work or didn't work?
Right.
Oh no, I'm sinking. I better swim. And then that happens. That would just be like such a sigh of relief for the entire audience.
Yeah, I could see
if
it
you were
working.
able to combine the two,
but
it could work.
No, that's fair. But again, you're not capturing the and you look at his mouth here.
Yeah.
His mouth, like, obviously that's it's a stunt shark, but half his teeth are missing.
Yeah.
Right. He's
he just looks rough.
Yeah, he's a little roughed up here. But I
just want to
think
show
he
you.
just wants to eat. He's gonna eat the fucking spear.
Got your magic stick.
That's right. I mean,
He's going down quick.
Believe that.
By the way, it wouldn't blow up, but I still say it would fuck that shark up.
Oh yeah. Well, if he hit it right in the bottom.
Yeah.
It would expel
rocket
the air and rock
it
it in.
Yeah.
That shark would be all fucked up.
Yeah. Should also point out that I think this is the last scene that was shot for like the actual like Martha's Vineyard stuff.
Yeah.
And Spielberg came to work wearing like a full-on suit because he'd heard a rumor that when the movie was done, the crew was gonna pick him up and throw him in the water. So basically, they shot the scene. Spielberg wearing a suit because he figured that they'd be less inclined to do it. But then when it ended, he just shouted "cut" and then ran to his car.
Was he also afraid of water? Is he a witch and he's gonna melt?
He didn't want to get thrown in the water,
Meaner kid.
And so Jaws is dead.
And then I guess the audience like applauded when Hooper came out of here. So again, I think he made the right decision.
Yeah.
He just hid.
Yeah. Well, what else are you gonna do?
Hippie coward.
Yeah, damn hippie.
He's not a hippie though. He's a rich fucking yuppie.
He's a rich fucking yuppie.
He has left leanings.
Yeah, that's true.
And I guess if we want to add anything else, we can add it for the 20 seconds of credits.
That's right. That's right.
Good old 70s movies where, like, 8 people worked on.
That's right. This movie was done very, 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 very well.
Yeah.
By about 12 people.
Yep. Well, to be fair, Universal was like teetering on the edge of bankruptcy at this point.
Well, there isn't much of a cast.
No, yeah.
No, the
It's a whole
cast is
handful of
minimal.
people.
The extras are minimal.
Yeah.
They're all visiting locals,
Yeah.
as far the beachgoers and stuff.
Right.
I just love that, like, every studio was. Oh, what's
You know what the Birds reminds me of?
what's that?
Land's
Birds?
End, Birds 2.
Oh my god!
Now the birds start to attack.
I was gonna say either that or Birdemic, but I was gonna say no. I just love that, like, every studio at this point was like on the verge of bankruptcy, and like each one had a movie that pretty much brought it out of there, and all thanks to a bunch of weirdo bearded guys.
And Cannon was on the way.
And Cannon was on the way. It's just such an interesting time.
Gilmore, get it? Gills?
Yeah.
Fishes?
Oh, yeah, the Gilmore.
But yeah, it's just such an interesting time in movie history where, like, movies were either gonna, like, go
Bass.
under, or turn the reins over to a bunch of bearded film school dorks, and then they did, and they single-handedly saved the industry.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely for the better.
For the better. Well, like I said, Spielberg can't hold responsibility for a bunch of less talented people taking what he did and using it to turn a buck. So, I mean,
Fair enough.
Hollywood, you said it best, Corey.
Can't we?
Hollywood is a whore, and they're coming after
A
whoever's
hideous
paying.
bitch goddess.
Yeah. They saw a formula that worked, and they're gonna take it all the way to the bank.
The blood bank.
Oh, thanks, Seagal. But anyway, that was our commentary or our Netflix movie night or whatever we're doing of Jaws.
This is a pretty good commentary.
No, I thought it was
think so. Yeah.
pretty well done.
This movie is rated PG. We just like
Parental
to
guidance
emphasize that.
is suggested.
For pre.
So yes,
teenage.
don't show your infants this movie without guiding them parentally, please. God damn it!
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.